Welcome to Sunday Springboard with Melanie and Kimberlyn Coaching. So y'all may have heard this story before. I've actually told this story before. The story about the old Cherokee man who is telling his grandson about these two wolves. One wolf lives on one shoulder, one on the other. One wolf is evil and bad and angry and full of sorrow and greed and all kind of negative emotions and negative feelings. The other wolf is on the other shoulder, and he is joy and peace and love and happiness and kindness and generosity and compassion. And the little boy says, well, grandfather, which wolf? And he says that they're fighting with each other, right? They're fighting with each other, and the grandson says, well, grandfather, which wolf is going to win? And the grandfather says, well, the wolf you feed. And I've used that story and told that story before with the idea of we have good things going on in our lives, bad things. Actually, those are judgment calls. We have things going on that feel bad or feel good, and we can have a certain choice. If we want to dwell on the negative, then we're not as happy. And if we want to dwell on the positive, we're more happy. And there is a certain merit to that. I'm not going to say that's wrong, but I think it's a little bit simplistic according to the things that I have been learning lately. So actually this story is not true. There is an original story that the Cherokee people told, and the beginning is the same. The grandfather's talking about the two wolves, and but when it gets to the point where the grandson says, "Who wins?" the grandfather answers this way. He says, if you feed them right, they both win. And then the story goes on. He says, you see, if I only choose to feed the white wolf, the black one will be hiding around every corner waiting for me to become distracted or weak and jump to get the attention he craves. He will always be angry and always fighting the white wolf. But if I acknowledge him, he is happy, and the white wolf is happy, and we all win. For the black wolf has many qualities: tenacity, courage, fearlessness, strong-willed, and great strategic thinking, that I have need of at times, and that the white wolf lacks. But the white wolf has compassion, caring, strength, and the ability to recognize what is in the best interest of all. He says, you see, son, the white wolf needs the black wolf at his side. To feed only one would starve the other, and they will become uncontrollable. To feed and care for both means they will serve you well and do nothing that is not a part of something greater, something good, something of life. Feed them both, and there will be no more internal struggle for your attention. And when there is no battle inside, you can listen to the voice of deeper knowing that will guide you in choosing what is right in every circumstance. Peace is the mission in life. A man or a woman who has peace inside has everything. A man or a woman who is pulled apart by the war inside him or her has nothing. How you choose to interact with the opposing forces within you will determine your life. Starve one or the other, or guide them both. So this is very interesting. This idea that we only want to feel good things or positive things, this actually leads to a lot of addiction, a lot of problems in the world, because we're working so hard to just experience what we consider are the happy, positive, good emotions. So the school that I went to become a certified life coach is called the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching, IPEC. And they actually teach us to be what is called a core energy life coach, a core energy coach. And that means that we learn about energy. And everything is energy. You look around you and everything is energy. You can walk into a room and feel the energy in that room, right? You walk into a room and you feel sadness, heaviness, you feel anger, you can feel the excitement and the happiness that people feel. And you can sense it when you're talking to a person. You can sense the energy that they are having, or you can sense yours. A lot of times we're not actually aware of the energy that we are experiencing, and setting off into the world around us. And so what we have learned in the school that I went to is we've learned about 7 levels of energy. Each one has different positive effects and limitations. Since they're in levels 1 through 7, it makes you think, oh, level 1 is bad, level 7 is great. I want to move quickly out of 1 to get to 7. And that is not true. These are all levels that are part of the human condition. Some of them feel better than others, but they're all just the way we are sometimes. Sometimes you just have to sit in a negative emotion. Like if you lose a loved one, it is right and good and serves you well to allow yourself to sit in the grief and to feel the grief and not try to move out of the grief sooner than you should, right? Sooner than is good for you. If you've been through a divorce and you're grieving that is something that serves you well. If possibly 2 years down the line you are still grieving to the same extent that you were at the beginning, then maybe you want to move out of that level that you're in. So what we want to do, and what I'm going to start teaching you how to do, is become aware of the energy that we're feeling. And then we can determine how well is that serving me. If it's serving me well, I'm going to sit there and experience that energy for a while. If it's not, then I'm going to see if I can take some action, change my thinking, which changes my thoughts, which changing my thinking changes my feelings, then changes my behavior, and maybe can move me into a level of energy that feels better, that I'm enjoying more. So the next 7 weeks, we're going to talk about 1 level of energy each week, and we'll talk about the good things that level does for you, and then the ways that it may serve you or may not serve you. One of the things I'm going to tell you also is that we consider that there are 2 different kinds of energy. There is catabolic energy and there is anabolic energy. Catabolic energy tears down. It stresses you out. It breaks down. So the levels of energy that are what we consider more negative at the lower end, they are more catabolic, and while we all experience them at times, if you live in that level on a lengthy amount of time, it just tears down your body, tears down your mind, brings stress, brings frustration and depression and sadness, and it turns into a negative thing if you live there all the time. The other levels are what we call anabolic, and anabolic builds you up and lifts you up. And these levels, while each one has its own limitations, and you don't necessarily want to live in any one level all the time, but the higher levels are going to be more anabolic. They're going to build you up. They're going to make you feel better. They're going to give you more joy and more strength and more energy, right? So come join me for the next 7 weeks on Sunday afternoons. We're going to have Sunday Springboard with Melanie and Kimberlyn coaching. And maybe this week, just start noticing what kind of energy you're feeling. And then as we go on, what we want to do is we want to be aware of the energy. And then we'd make a decision. Do I want to stay here or do I want to move on? So that we're not necessarily reacting to the world around us, but we're making choices when things affect us. Choices of how we want to think and how we want to feel and how we want to present ourselves to the world. So thank you for joining me today, and have a great week. Goodbye.